Hey guys, David McElwain here with Shoshone Hunt Stories. This is where we give you the tips, the tactics, also lets you get an inside look of what it is like to go to these outfitters on these hunts before you actually go. The past few weeks we've been talking about Africa. We've gone through several different operations in Africa, and I've kind of been able to get my feet wet learning about it before I went over there. But this week, I feel like I am coming back home, able to talk about turkey hunting. And you know how much I really do enjoy turkey hunting, where I grew up in my family and everything. And turkey hunting is kind of a tradition where I am from. And on the opposite side, Peyton, I don't think there's many turkeys in Alaska, is there?
No, no. In fact, you feel more comfortable talking about turkeys. I would have a hard time telling what the difference between the different types of turkeys. Growing up in Alaska, I'd never really seen a turkey until I moved down here to America.
Yes,
America. I've never seen one. So Cole, thanks for joining us, man. I'm looking forward to this, and this is going to be educational for me. We've been talking about Africa, like David said, for the last 3 weeks, which is something I feel very comfortable with. I don't know a whole lot of people that have probably hunted in Africa as much as I have, or the North American big game that I've killed, and have never, ever been turkey hunting.
Yeah, well, I appreciate y'all having me on here.
Yeah, so Cole, so today we have Cole with Native Thunder. He is a super hardworking guy out of Kansas, and he has an outfit there. And I want to hear more about that. But Cole, you said you're originally from South Georgia, correct?
Yes, sir.
Got you. So tell me more about how you got into turkey hunting and why Rios. Why was that something that you love so much?
So kind of like you said, turkey hunting is a very traditional type of hunting. It's something where kind of I grew up, and it was kind of just the way of life. When turkey season came around, it's go time. We eat, sleep, everything turkey hunt. Springtime comes, and all we're focused on is killing a turkey. So especially in Georgia, we have Easterns, which it's said that that's the hardest turkey to kill. So once you start from the hardest, the easier it gets later on in life. So I've been hunting since I killed my first turkey when I was 8 years old. My dad and I, actually, first time I ever went turkey hunting, we doubled and killed 2 turkeys. And ever since then, I've been stuck. It's kind of like a bad disease, and I got it, and I don't think it'll ever go away.
Yeah, so it's it really is kind of a disease. And you say the whole like Easterns are the hardest ones to kill, and I hate to say it, but I do agree with you. I think if you can kill turkeys in the South, you have a pretty good chance of running into them a lot of other places. And I always joke to my friends, like, "Yeah, I'm going on a vacation. This is an easy hunt. Going up to so and so to hunt. It'll be nice relief from these turkeys where I'm from here."
Right.
But so I'm guessing that's how you got your start. I know you're based out of Kansas now. Tell me more about how that got started.
Yeah. So, like I said, just grew up turkey hunting, and I knew there was something more I could do. I knew I could get good enough where I could get people to come experience what I experience every day, and I'm not the one pulling the trigger. It gets to a certain point when you're turkey hunting where once you kill enough, you kind of enjoy the aspect of calling them in for other people. And I feel like that's a bigger reward than killing one myself. So me and my buddy got together, and it's something I've always dreamed about, is opening an outfitter. Well, I got a job guiding in Kansas, started off doing that, and, just kind of learning the ropes. And I figured out, dang, these Rios are real easy to kill. And I felt like I had something I could offer to people that other outfitters didn't in Kansas. And we started it, and it kind of took off. And we have a 100% success rate, and it's been incredible. It went a lot better than we imagined. So
100% success rate. That's amazing.
As of now, I don't want to jinx it because it's still hunting, but
yeah, absolutely.
We've been really lucky and really fortunate that all of our clients that have come through Native Thunder have had a good experience and got all our turkeys. So
that's good. Yeah. So obviously where you are, it's all Rios, right?
Right. All 100% true Rios.
Gotcha.
the further south you get in Kansas, there kind of is a speculation where there is a Rio and Eastern hybrid.
Yeah.
But where we're at, we have 9,500 acres of leased and permission ground. So we've got plenty of land in our area. We're in a pretty central location in Kansas. Our lodge this year is in Hutchinson, Kansas, so it's about 45 minutes from the airport in Wichita. And we go about far south as we can go and about as far north as we can go, staying in that true Rio territory.
Yeah.
And yeah, the turkey numbers are unreal. It's not like Georgia where, you're focusing on 2 or 3 turkeys at a time. You could go out in the woods, hit an owl call, and all of a sudden 100 gobble around you, and you're like, what do we do now? So as a guide and the outfitter owner, I try and tell my other guides, it's something you're never going to get to experience anywhere else. And it's really cool to just look over and look at your client's face when 100 turkeys fire off right next to you. So
Yeah, that is not like it where I'm from. Like you said, I'm used to hearing 1, 2 turkeys a morning, hopefully, if you're lucky.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty amazing to go to somewhere else and experience that for the first time. And I can imagine a lot of your clients, like you said, have that same look on their face, like, oh wow, this is worth it. So
that wow
Yeah,
factor
so-
is definitely a big part of it, to keep them coming back. Once they get that wow factor, it's they want to keep coming back and keep killing turkeys in Kansas. I have people say all the time, "There's nowhere else I want a turkey in ever again." So it's pretty
No.
it's pretty surreal.
So I was going to ask you, so in the past couple of years, I know a lot of places have kind of seen a decline in turkey numbers. Have you guys seen anything like that around your area, or what are you guys seeing on the ground?
Yeah, so on the ground, they will say, the state of Kansas will say that there has been a decline in turkey numbers. Personally, I'm out there every single day. And last year, I've seen more turkeys than I've ever seen in Kansas. From jakes to hens to gobblers, it was unreal. The turkey numbers were outstanding. Me and Payne were actually talking about this a couple weeks ago, that Kansas was trying to decide if they're going to go 100% to a draw system in Kansas, which it's understandable. But they think that the turkey numbers are declining. But I've been out there every single day, and I think last year I saw more jakes, more gobblers, more hens than I've seen in years out there. So I personally don't think there's been a decline. If anything, I think the way we manage our properties and the way we trap, take care of predators, I think I've seen, at least on our properties, a growth in the turkey numbers.
Yeah, so I know that some areas have seen less turkeys, but it sounds like your area is pretty good, and I would recommend anybody to still target those areas that are that have not seen a decline. So I would say I've got a buddy who's an outfitter in Kansas, a long time buddy. He's more southeast than you, sounds like. Over the past couple of years, there definitely has been a number change, but I do believe that's because of habitat change,
Right.
Increased hunters and predators. I think there's a lot of things that are going on with them. But in the southeast, where I am in Mississippi, we have not seen a huge number change. I'd say it's definitely less than there used to be, but I think there's a lot more predators in the woods, like you said. The habitat's a lot different, and and a lot of the public land around my area doesn't get as well managed as the private, obviously. So a lot of the turkeys are concentrated on private. But that does sound like a pretty unbelievable experience being able to come out there to your place.
Yeah, the great part about our place is, everything a turkey needs is kind of in that area. We've got a good resource of water, we've got plenty of woods, and then we've got open fields, and we have food. So other than that, there's really nothing else a turkey needs. As long as they have a good tree, they've got some good food and some good water. That's all they need.
Hey, Cole, let me jump in here real quick. I got a question for you. One of the things that people ask when they call us to book a hunt, and they talk about the different kinds of turkeys, and between Easterns and then Rios and then Merriam's further west, and then, Gould's down in the southwest. Guys want to get the turkey farm, right? They want to kill all the different types of turkeys. And in fact, we book a bunch of guys in Mexico for different ones too.
Right.
One of the things that guys ask about, they're like, well, if we go to Western Kansas to go kill a Rio, are we killing a Rio or are we killing a hybrid where the Miriams are making love to the Rios, it sounds like, and you get like a hybrid bird, right? So is that are the birds that y'all are hunting purebred Rios?
Oh, yeah.
And how do you tell the difference? What is the dynamic there? How does that work?
Yeah, so the way turkeys are kind of, I would say, classified is from what they are from Eastern, Osceola, Rio to Merriam. The NWTF kind of draws the line on where that is. So right where we're at, there is no chance for there to be any possible sort of hybrid, no Eastern Rio hybrid, no Merriam Rio hybrid. It's all 100% true Rios. The biggest factor that I can tell the difference, we have more of a tan tip on the fan, which Easterns can sometimes have it, but you can really tell when you see a Rio. It's just something you're going to have to see in person. Also, the biggest factor on a Rio is the way they gobble. So, David, you being from Mississippi, you know what a true Eastern gobble sounds like. It's a real hard, long, like a wow. That's a turkey right there, gobble. The Rio kind of, it almost sounds a little bit like a jay gobble. It's not as strong. It's a little bit weaker, but they gobble their heads off. They don't stop gobbling sometimes. It's just not that strong gobble. It's more of a Rio gobble is what I call it. So the client will look at me and be like, what was that? Well, that was a turkey gobbling. So they love to talk. They're very vocal, but it's just not as strong. And I think that's honestly why it's not as strong. It's just kind of one of the things I've thought about over the years is, sometimes it's a little harder to get an Eastern to gobble. And when they gobble, you know it. When an Eastern gobbles, he's gobbling so much, he can't catch his breath sometimes. So in my opinion, that's the biggest way to determine the difference. And where we're at, it's just, there's just no chance. We'd have to go a lot further south for that Eastern Rio hybrid, or a lot further north for that Merriam Rio hybrid. We're hunting only 100% true Rios.
Okay. I would ask you to pretend here, but you don't have to pretend because I've never done this before. If I called up Cole and I'm like, hey, I want to book a hunt, and having never been turkey hunted, can you walk me through? You're going to show up at our lodge, and here's where we're located, and here's what you can expect. How a typical day of turkey hunting works for somebody that's never done it before.
Yeah. So our lodge, pull up to the lodge. We kind of settle in the first night, get your stuff loaded in the lodge. We'll have a great dinner. We've got a great chef. This year, I like to focus on, good turkey hunting and a good experience at the same time. So the food's good and the hunt's even better. When you get to our first day of hunting, we wake up about, I'd say 4:30, depending on whenever the sun rises. Drive from, 10 minutes down the road to 30 minutes down the road. We get out of the truck. We'll just sit there and listen for a minute and kind of locate where the turkeys are at. And then we'll make our move from there. So we'll get out the truck. Me or one of my guys will hit an owl call, and we'll kind of determine what the best route is to make towards this turkey. We don't really do a lot of hunting out of blinds, but if needed, we will hunt out of a blind. But we kind of like to run and gun is what I call it. We kind of get as close to that turkey as we can on the limb without scaring him off the limb. So we'll get out of the truck, find that turkey, get real close to him, put a decoy out, hit him with a couple yelps, and hopefully he'll fly down, put on a show for us, and we get it done. But if we don't get it done that first morning, we go back, have a real good hearty lunch, maybe take a nap for about an hour or two, and then we'll go back out after him, try and get one coming back to the roost.
Okay, you lost me at owl call.
Owl call, yeah. So owl call is the locator call. You can do an owl call, a crow call. I prefer an owl call because I'm better at it than a crow call.
Would this be considered like a shot call? Is that what you're doing? You're blowing an owl call just to get a response from a turkey to they're over there, because they'll respond because it's a predator, right? I mean, they kill them, right? So it's okay.
Turkeys are afraid of owls because they will eat their poults. They'll swoop down on turkeys all the time. That's one of the biggest predators for a turkey is an owl. So it's kind of that shock factor for a turkey whenever they're sitting in the tree and they hear that owl call. They're like, oh, we got to get up. We got to wake up. So it kind of wakes them up, gets them talking, and helps us figure out where they're at.
Okay. So as a first timer coming in, what are some things I would assume that you see, maybe not a lot, but some misses?
Yeah.
What are some things that I need to do to prepare, prepare myself for when I come on a turkey hunt with y'all or with anybody, like shot distances,
Right.
what should I be practicing? What should I be ready to do to ensure, some success from
So
what I can control,
I like to tell all my first timers, when you are practicing, set a target about at your max 40 yards. I don't really like to shoot a turkey past 40 yards. I just think it's a sportsman way to do it, and it's the best way to kill a turkey. Under 40 yards, above 40 yards, it gets a little skeptical. But as we do as an outfitter, as soon as you get here, after we get you all settled in, we'll shoot the first night before dinner. Make sure your guns are patterned. We shoot Apex ammunition, so we get those patterns only using Apex, and we provide the shells, but you can bring your own shotgun. We also have rental guns, so we really take that extra time to make sure we can do whatever we can to avoid a miss happening. We had a few last year, but it's just part of it. Sometimes people get real excited, and those turkeys are putting on a show, and that's a beautiful creature coming to you. It's really like no other. The turkey does it different than any other animal on this planet, and it's a beautiful show. And sometimes you get real excited and real shaky, and it just happens. But the best thing I give my advice to is, just take your extra time, pattern your shotgun. If you do have a sight, make sure your sight's sighted in, and ammunition's a big part of it. There's a lot of different ammunitions on the market, and after me doing it over the years, I think Apex turkey loads are the best in my opinion. So that's all we use, and we've had great success using it. So it's that tungsten, that TSS hybrid. It's pretty unreal. So
Okay. Let me ask this might be a dumb question. Why don't you, is it illegal? Is it an ethical thing? How come you just don't shoot a turkey out of a tree?
yeah.
You say you got them on the roost. And again, I've never done it before. I've no
So
idea.
it is illegal to shoot a turkey out of a tree.
Is that by state? Because I know some states you can.
So in Kansas, you cannot shoot.
I'm just curious.
In Kansas, you can't shoot one out of a tree.
It's illegal to do it. Okay. Well, that makes it real simple. Okay.
But also another thing, any state that did allow that, me as an avid turkey hunter, I would never shoot a turkey out of a tree. It takes a kind of that big sportsman part of it. I think turkey hunting is so traditional and such I take it very seriously. It's something where people were doing it a long time ago before we were here. They turkey hunted back for years and years and years. So
yeah,
I think as a sportsman, and the right thing to do, never shoot a turkey out of a tree. I think you owe respect to that animal and respect to yourself and all the avid hunters out there, to give them that show and to do it the right way and harvest your turkey the right way.
Well, I'm tracking with you. How much land do y'all have out there in Kansas? Do you actually have access to hunt on?
Yes, so we have access to 9,500 acres.
Wow,
which is a pretty good chunk.
Yeah, no, for sure. And how many people do you guys like to take at a time?
We take up to 4 in the lodge at a time, a group of 4. I like to turkey hunt with one-on-one if possible, one per guide is what I mean by that. So I've got 4 wonderful guides that work for me, and we just put one client with one guide. And sometimes, we get a father-son duo that like to hunt together, and we try and put them on a double, and that's a memory that, you can really never forget when you and your son go out and double up on a turkey. But we can take up to 6, but we prefer 4.
Okay. I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but a good turkey story. It looks like a lot of fun. Like I said, I've never done it, but any memorable experiences that come to mind that you could share with us? Something kind of fun. I know all kinds of fun stuff kind of happens in the woods a lot. But
I've had a lot of good ones. I don't know if this story is really a good one, but it's the one that's really lasted with me for the longest. It was 2 years ago, opening morning of the youth season in Kansas, and I had this little boy. He was 6 years old. It was his first turkey hunt with him and his dad, and we scouted real hard, and I personally took him, and he was real nervous. He had this single shot 410 with the TSS load, and he was real excited, and we shot it the days before, and he was dead on him. So we didn't think there would be a problem when it came to the killing time. We just had to make sure he could, see the turkey well. we get in the woods, and I had an owl call, and it was almost like they were surrounding us. They were everywhere. So I just stopped where I was at, and with younger kids, it's hard for them to be real still. So I set up a pop-up blind, and we got up in a pop-up blind, and he was sitting in a chair, and all of a sudden, just turkeys started coming in everywhere. It was almost like we got in a big, just a big flock of them. A bunch of turkeys were around us, and we had a decoy out, and all these jakes ran up to the decoy, and they were just beating that decoy. Hens were coming in, purring, fighting each other, and then all of a sudden this big tom came in and ran these jakes off, and I knew it was game time. He looks at me, and he's shaking, like could not stop shaking.
Yeah.
And this turkey's just standing there strutting against the decoy, and I'm like, all right, are you on him? Are you on him? And he looks at me, he's like, I can't see him. I'm like, all right, buddy, just take your time. When that dot gets on him, you need to shoot him. Well, a couple minutes went by, and I'm like, all right, buddy, we got to take him now, or he's going to walk away. And he's like, what does it mean if the red dot's covering his head? and I looked at him and I said, that means shoot him. And as soon as I said that, he shot him, and couldn't stop the flop at that point. And it was game over, and that smile on his face was something I'll never forget. He ran out there and grabbed that turkey by the head and had the biggest smile on his face. That's probably the biggest one that's stuck with me ever since I've taken people turkey hunting. It was just funny. He looked at me and said, what is that? What does it mean when the red dot covered his head? So that one definitely left a good impression on me.
It's time to send it. That's what that means.
Yeah, it's time
Yeah,
to go.
it's cool being able to take a kid for the first time or a new hunter for the first time and just experience that. That's
It seems like a turkey hunt would be a really good hunt for
It's a great
first time hunt. It's like I tell people the same thing about like baited black bear hunts.
Right.
It's a great hunt for a first timer. You can kind of take your time a little bit, not a lot of pressure. Exact situation like you just told about. No, that's fantastic. That's a great.
Yeah, we do some cool things for the youth at Native Thunder. That I wish I had more people book it. We just do a $500 for $500 for a first time youth hunter to come hunt and shoot his first turkey. So we just try and get. I think a big part of the outdoors is introducing the younger generations to keep it going forever and ever. So we do a big youth hunt, and we try and get as many kids in there as we can. And then we also do a veterans hunt yearly where we get a group of 4 veterans to come out, no charge, and let them try and kill a turkey. So those are 2 good things we do at Native Thunder that really I really try and stick by every year. So if you know anybody that wants to come,
Peyton.
Do you think? What's that?
Peyton, do you think I could pass as a youth hunter?
You know what? Maybe if you shave a little bit, it's that beard you got. Cole, let me ask you about that. Going back to that, is there a particular youth season you do that in, or if a fella just calls and says, "Hey, I want to bring my son for the first time," or how does that work?
Yeah, so I'll keep that offer all year round, but yes, mainly during just the Kansas City season. It opens a week before regular season does.
Okay.
And it's just a time for you to go out and shoot their turkey.
Okay. No, that's fantastic. Do you have a middle-aged 40-something retired cop price that's never killed a turkey? That's what.
We can work something out.
Yeah, Peyton, we got to get you on your first turkey hunt, man. It's fun. It's like it's not as, like you said, stressful when it comes to, for me at least, it's not nearly as stressful as big game and stuff like that. A turkey hunt with buddies, that's a memory that I look forward to every year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure Cole has a lot of stories about growing up shooting turkey with his buddies, and I've got buddies that I had in Kansas. We were hunting to public last year or a couple of years ago actually, and my buddy just gets so excited over that kind of stuff. And I remember this turkey walking down this tree line, and I could see it, and my buddy couldn't see it. And this turkey's like 10 yards. I remember I was just having fun. I wasn't going to shoot it. I was going to let him shoot it. And the whole time I was just hyping him up. I was like, oh, I can see him. Yeah, he's strutting you here and spitting and everything. And he's getting so excited. He's getting more and more worked up. And eventually he's like, dude, you got to shut up. And the turkey's like 10 yards. And he shoots 3 times the thing and misses it. And he still blames me to this day because I got him so worked up over it. But I tell you what, man, it's fun. I'd love
It's a
to
lot of
experience
fun.
that with you, Peyton, one day. Hopefully, I know Idaho's got some turkeys. I've always wanted to make it out there and hunt.
They do, and a lot of guys get on it. It's not exactly a turkey hunting mecca. They got a lot of draw tags, and certainly there's a lot of guys that do it. My biggest thing is I need to hook up with one of y'all just because I start blowing on one of those calls and it sounds like a dead turkey,
I'm gonna be real
like a dying
disappointed.
turkey, and yeah, it just be like, yeah, it wouldn't work out. So
I'm gonna be real disappointed if
Yeah.
you kill your first turkey with someone else, Peyton. I'm gonna be honest.
all right, well, I appreciate that, Cole, and we'll have to do it. We'll have to do it.
Cole, so do you guys have many archery hunters come through?
Yeah, we do. The way I look at it is, I think a turkey deserves to get shot with a shotgun. That's just the way I look at it. But yes, we do have bow hunters, and I will take bow hunters. It's definitely a lot more of that miss factor you're talking about, because there's a certain place that you do have to shoot a turkey for it to die with a bow. And I just think it's more ethical to shoot them with a shotgun. But yes, we will take bow hunters.
Yeah,
And,
you're probably coming at it more from like a traditional standpoint, right, Cole? Just
Right,
turkey
for
with the
sure.
bird, shotgun. Yeah,
Right.
So
Agreed. Yeah, but yes, we do. We will take bow hunters, and I think I've seen a lot of cool stuff happen with the bow. So, but yes, we do take bow hunters.
Got you.
That's awesome.
So whenever and I know in some facets this is controversial. If you're I know you're from South Georgia, you may feel the same way a lot of people do around here. What's your thoughts on the decoy situations? I mean, do you use just hens, or do you like to use jakes or gobblers? What do you run there?
So you might not like my response, but we use every decoy in the book. We use from jakes to gobblers to full strut decoys to hens. We use all Dave Smith decoys. They're beautiful, freaking hand painted decoys. They when I'm hunting, I prefer to just run a hen decoy if I run a decoy. There's some mornings where I don't even run a decoy at all. It just depends on the situation, honestly. It depends if I have a client that's been hunting for 3 days and the hunt's been tough, and that last day we just can't get them to commit, do anything. So then that full strut decoy comes out and we put one on it with the full strut decoy. We use that full strut decoy kind of as a last resort, as like you were saying, because I am from South Georgia, and it's I grew up hunting with no decoy or one hen decoy, but we use every resource we can to ensure that the clients have a good experience and leave with a turkey.
Absolutely. No, I don't blame you at all. I was just curious of what you liked out there. No, some Rios or versus Merriams versus anything, they all have different temperamental attitudes.
These Rios
it
get
was-
real mad.
Yeah, I do. I hunted Rios last year in Kansas, like I said, south of you, and we had a decoy out, and immediately when these turkeys saw that decoy, they got so fired up. If they come running across this wide open field. Another thing is in Kansas, these turkeys can see so far, and there's not a lot of trees where I've been hunting. I don't know about you. I'm sure kind of similar.
Right.
But if you do not have a decoy out, it's kind of tough to fool a bird to come across a wide open field.
You got to be real good to do it. I've done it a couple times, but it's that decoy definitely helps, especially on that flat land.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So I kind of, this year was my first year hunting. My second year, I'm sorry, my first real whole season. I spent most of my time hunting Merriams for the first time, and kind of fell in love with those birds pretty quick. Unfortunately, they like to live in the mountains, and it takes a lot of legwork to get around them. But it is fun, and learning about the temperament of those birds versus Rios versus the Easterns and everything. They're also different.
They're all different.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it. Just you may spend half your year hunting somewhere as Easterns, and then you go up to your place in Kansas, and it's like a completely different bird.
Oh yeah, it is. It's something every turkey hunter, in my opinion, needs to experience. For sure. Like you were saying, Merriams, you better have some hiking boots if you're going to go hunt Merriams. That's for sure.
I went through a pair pretty quick this year. I'll tell you that. I blew a pair out, and then it was definitely a learning curve, and I spent a lot of the time taking people up there, and then also running around with a bow in my hand, trying to get one. And yeah, it's definitely a learning curve, but I really enjoyed it. And they're just, like you said, they're so vocal too.
Right.
But it was a fun spring for sure. But I hope we get to make it up to hunt with you guys one day. I'd look up there and film or take pictures or
Yeah.
even run down with the gun. I'd love to see Peyton doing that, and maybe bring
Yeah,
his
I'm
son
ready.
out there.
Yeah, we'll get you on the books this year for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready. And you know, we're in the fall time right now, but now's the time to get this stuff booked. And Cole, we appreciate you coming on with us and everything. And you know, give Cole a call, Native Thunder. Give us a call. We'll get you hooked up. But now's the time to get stuff booked up on this, guys. We always run into fellas, you know, late spring that wait till the last minute to try to get turkey hunts in March and get even into April when turkey hunting started. And,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have the pick of the best dates and it just gets kind of crammed up. So think ahead. You know, turkey hunts are generally not as expensive as other big game hunts. And, you know, get booked up now, get it booked up early. You don't have to worry about it, but give us a call and we got guys like Cole that'll put you on the birds, and the accommodations. Obviously, we can't show them over a podcast, but I can tell you right now the photos of the lodge that Cole's got there, the accommodations are fantastic. You're not going to lose any weight, that's for sure. You know, and it's hard to find really good hunts anywhere that you can check all those boxes. Private land, good hunting, opportunity rate is high, good accommodations, good food. Check. And Cole and his gang certainly offer all those things. So you really don't need to look any further if you want to hunt Rios than hunt with Cole. But Cole, we appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know you're up in Canada guiding right now, so just taking a few minutes to chat with us, and I know we appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me on, and like y'all said, just give me a call anytime. We'll be happy to have y'all.
Absolutely, Cole. We really do appreciate it, man. And is there anything you'd like clients to know before they come? Like, is there any like advice you would give them before they showed up at your doorstep?
Well, yeah, no. Come hungry because we eat good. We're ready to have a good time, and we're ready to just show you what true turkey hunting's about. And you know, it's all about camaraderie, and it's an experience you'll never forget. And I truly hope that you take the chance and do come hunt with us because it's something you'll never forget.
Awesome, man. Like I said, I really appreciate you hopping on, and yeah, we will hopefully we'll be seeing you soon, and hope the rest of your Canada trip goes well, and hope y'all have a pretty good fall up there. But I appreciate y'all hopping on.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Cole.
Thanks, man. Yep, appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, there's your hunt story of the week. I want to say thank you for listening along, but if you want to hear more about these hunts, you can book a consultation online and talk to one of our guys. But we also have a weekly newsletter that comes out with the Shoshone featured hunts, but then also the cancellation hunts, if there is any, they will be on that newsletter. So once again, I want to say thank you for listening, and I will catch you on the next hunt story.